Tell me about your art, Sheri.
Well, this is, first of all, the process is called lost wax casting. And it's where you make the original piece in wax, and then you create, I guess you could call it a mold, but through a very elaborate process, more like alchemy, you convert that wax to either silver or bronze. And so, because of the nature of how I do it and what I'm doing, I can create large and dramatic one-of-a-kind pieces. So, unlike most traditional jewelry, I'm not interested in the precious, I'm interested in the unique. Okay, so if you look at my stones, if you look at my pieces, they don't look anything like you think of as jewelry. They're large, they're dramatic, they're bold. So who wears them? Self-confident women. And they're all kinds of unusual stones in their natural state. These are all in their natural state. And so I just play and find things that are incredibly dramatic. So if you look at these up here, I'm using, those are amethyst, and something called dichroic glass. The far one is dichroic glass. I mix bronze and sterling silver. Now a lot of people ask me why don't I work in gold? So for example, if I were to take this piece and do it in gold, it would probably be $40,000. Because I like the expansiveness of being able to be as creative as I can with no limitations. Bronze is rich and you can do all kinds of wonderful things with it. You can get all kinds of wonderful colors with it. So every piece is constructed by me in parts and pieces and play until I find what makes me happy.
What's your latest piece that you were very...
All of them. This is what I call my COVID gift.
So this is a collection from the past year?
Yeah. So being home, not working for a year, I was working on waxes and I was working on making more elaborate things than I normally do because I had the time to actually be as complex as I wanted to.
How long have you been doing this?
20 some odd years. I also teach metalsmithing in Irvine at the Irvine Fine Arts Center.
Got it. This one, you were telling me, what's the name of this again?
This is, so what you're looking at is something called dichroic glass. And if you move around, you're going to see that the colors shift. I'll pull out another piece so you can see one up close. So I make the glass. I take layers of different colors of this, different types of this particular kind of glass, and fuse it together in a kiln at 1300 degrees.
Oh.
And so each one, so if you tilt it, you'll see that the colors change dramatically. This particular glass process was made by some people from JPL for the space program, and it's created by taking microcrystalline structures, putting them into a vacuum chamber, and growing the glass in the vacuum chamber through a proprietary chemical process. Understanding that they take that process, some scientists figured out how to take a natural stone. A lot of times you'll find very interesting marriages of science and nature. So this stone is called kyanite. The stone is natural, but some scientists figured out how to take the same process that makes the dichroic glass and grow the same concept of microcrystalline structures onto the stone itself. So that's what's giving us the multiple color shifts, but all of the textures of the natural stone. And again, working with something so large, I can make it as organic as I want. I don't want it to look refined. I don't want it to look planned, nor do I plan it. I create it spontaneously. And really, it's designed so that the whole thing looks like it's really been found in an organic state.
And every piece is unique. You
One
don't
of
have
a
any
kind.
testing, so you can't remake it.
Nope.
Once you sell it, it's gone. And
Not only can't I won't.
You wouldn't.
No. So I will oftentimes tell people, if I sell this, if you love it and you haven't decided that you want it, and I sell it, will I make another? The answer is no. Can I make another? Perhaps, but I'm not going to. If you pay me money, will I make another? The answer is no, because the person who bought it as a one-of-a-kind, unique piece, and it will always stay that way.
Do you ever make like a set, like a necklace and a ring, and they'll?
No.
Or you just use the same stone.
No, however, it doesn't mean that you can't. I use a lot of, I don't make it to match, because I'm not all about matchy-matchy, I'm about asymmetry. So you can oftentimes find things amongst my things that work together, but here's the thing. I do not believe in the concept of a band and a stone, like traditional rings. I say, if you're going to wear a ring, it should be a sculpture. So it should be something that defines what you normally expect. So it will work off the hand. Now, the next thing people ask me is, are they heavy? And the answer is no. And the reason they're not heavy is because I'm using science again. And it has to do with how long a necklace hangs. If anything hangs long like this, 100% of the weight sits at the back of your neck. But if it's up high, it's resting on your breastbone. And so the weight disappears, you can't even feel it. The piece that I'm wearing, so there's something called matrix. So if you're going mining for a stone, say for instance an opal, it's in a cave, right? So there are sections of the cave where this is the cache of opal. But throughout the cave, there are little bits of opal running through it, little tiny flecks of it. But the cave wall itself that it's growing in is called the matrix. And so recently, more and more miners, people who hunt these things, have started cutting pieces of the matrix and turning it into interesting shapes. So the top is the beginning of an amethyst, but this is the matrix that it's found in. So again, not precious, but really unusual.
Very unique.
And then amethyst in the center. All of the neck parts, this part that holds it, are always asymmetrical. I always use an interesting combination of exotic beads, strange things, crystals, whatever I have that is going to enhance the whole piece, because it's about the whole piece. It should all be kind of like a symphony, where this is leading to the crescendo of the necklace. Now, another thing that I specialize in is something that I call earrings as a necklace. And they're designed to hang past your neck, and they don't go anywhere. So I wouldn't wear a necklace, I would just wear these. The way they catch the light, so I'm using the same beads, the same ingredients, but the necklaces don't match. The earrings don't match at all. So the flavor is the same. Now, I also am fond of unusual fossils. So this is a 250 million year old ammonite. This particular type of fossil looks like it's metal, but what it really is iron pyrite. And what happens is, there's only one place in the world, I believe so, Siberia, where these are found. The mineral that forms iron pyrite is found in the same place. And what happens is, there's a process in nature called pseudomorphing. So the iron pyrite is actually eating the ammonite and replacing it with the pyrite.
Clever. So you're really mixing science and art here.
Yes. Well, this is all natural. I did nothing. Nature did that.
You just framed it.
Yes. So it's a combination of knowing about things, and not being afraid to take risks. This right here is a piece of 2,000-year-old Roman glass. It comes from Afghanistan, and the same way that you find any of the gems and minerals, if you go to, there is a very large international gem and minerals show in Tucson every year that I go to, and I look again for things that are really outside the norm, outside the pale.
What is the price of that?
This one here?
Yeah.
This is $1,250. And if you notice, it's a combination of sterling silver and bronze and quartz crystal. Well, no, I do have a website, but you can't buy anything.
Okay.
Everything on my website is sold, and it's just to remind you who I am. You have to come find me at a show. So you can always call me. My website is indigolights.com. And you can call me up and say, okay, how do I find you? What shows are you going to be at?